You know, the one thing about you, Anthony, is that I really like respect and, you inspire me on. It's like when you have an idea, you just do it.
Has to be done.
You just wrote the book.
You fucking did it in like 30 days, man.
Bro,
That's ridiculous.
Writing a book is one thing. When he said, I want to do an online course, okay, by the time he writes, you know how many videos an online course is? It's like by the chapters, by the sections. How many videos was it? Like 100 videos?
50. It was 50 total.
50 videos.
But I did it the same way as we were doing the podcast. Pure freestyle.
Freestyle.
Pure freestyle. And anyone can listen to it and understand that there's no posh English. There's nothing. Anyone can get the course. And it's so addictive. You finish it in like a couple of hours. Like once you started, you'll finish it in a couple of hours.
Are you worried that you created your own competition?
Not really, bro. There's a way of talking and everyone has a mental limitation. Like when it comes to me, I don't even need to speak, but I have my own ways where I make sure he's repetitive and coming to me, because it's not like only one service I'm giving him. I'm giving him 8 services. Like once he calls me, he's stuck for a lifetime. Like there's no way he can escape. As long as he has money, he's stuck. Like the day he's broke, I'm like, thanks, it was a pleasure meeting you. Hussain is like most of the people, they are salespeople.
Yeah.
I'm not here to sell you a product. I'm here to solve all of your problems. Okay. Just come to me. What do you want?
Beautiful sales pitch. I love that. I love
what do you want? Company information, done. Visa, done. Open a bank account, done. What else? You want to do transfers from country to another? Done. Investing into properties, done. Business loan, I do it. Mortgages, I do it. CFO service, VAT filing, due diligence, interior design, furnishing, long lease, short-term lease, like just name it. Say what you want and consider it done. So this is the difference. While others, like they see you as a one-time, I'm doing a sale. Yeah. That's it, period. Yeah. He signs, that's your keys, congratulations, done. While I make sure to
follow up,
keep offering my service. Not even follow up, they'll come to me.
You could get a lot of time wasters, right? And I was like, this is effort, like, how do you filter the time wasters?
You know how I roll, It's like even time wasters, they wouldn't dare to call me. It's like, I'm giving you a top-notch service. You're alluring in a Rolls Royce. You're coming and to see the fanciest properties. Like, if you want to waste time, I'm not the guy to call. And between you and me now, knowing people immediately, just speaking to people, I can tell. And now if I have a total stranger reaching out to me and say, hi, I want to meet you to buy a property, like, no problem. I need proof of funds. You need to send me your bank statement.
You asked for that in advance?
I even asked them for a meeting. He needs to block my calendar. I didn't show you this. So I do have a calendar where if he wants to sit with me for half an hour, he needs to pay $300. If he wants to sit for 1 hour, he needs to pay $600. If he wants to make a tour in Dubai, he needs to pay 5,000 dirhams, which is $1,300. And the second he buys, all of these fees are already waived. So anyway, like, I'm giving you time, but I'm making sure you're not wasting mine. But if you don't value yourself, who's gonna value it for you? Like, when I started, I had to talk to everyone, regardless of what's the status, what's everything. Now I have my brand. Everyone knows me in the city. Everyone knows what I have achieved in the city. And everyone knows, like, this guy can solve your problem. So I'm not here to listen to people by telling me, I'm thinking about moving to Dubai. Do your thoughts. Once you're ready, then we can sit down and do our stuff. Once you have your funds in Dubai, let's sit down and talk about it. If you're still thinking, go discuss it with your friends. Yeah.
Are most of your customer base that you're finding or contacting you wanting to move to Dubai, or are they looking for a vacation home or an investment property?
Depends. Everyone is looking to diversify. Now, if you're talking about Europeans, they are heavily damaged. It's like the taxes in Europe is becoming nuts after post-COVID. And in Barcelona and Spain, it's the same. Paris is like,
Paris is a disaster.
Yeah, like all of these places, because there is no liquidity anymore, and the government are heavily increasing the taxes just to pick up all of the stimulus that they gave in COVID.
Do you feel that Dubai 30% tax on income is a real thing, or do you think that's just
There's
nonsense?
No 30%.
No, that there's a plan to introduce a 30%
No,
tax.
the plan is to introduce in June 2023 9% corporate tax. So if your threshold is $100,000, if you surpass that, you have to pay 9% tax on your business. As an individual, as an employee, you never have to pay any income tax, any corporate tax. You don't have property. There's no taxes in the city at all. Just this year, they introduced the corporate tax.
Corporate tax,
which is starting from June. Haven't started yet.
They're going to introduce something crazy like 30%, but I must have misheard it.
Cannot happen because you're not getting a free education. You're not getting free. You're not getting like insurances, free hospitals. You're not getting nationality. You're not
They
getting
have free
anything.
hospitals over there. Like for
the
residents?
Emiratis, yeah.
For residents, I mean, for residents.
There's nothing
There's
for
not?
free over there. Oxygen is for free. Everything you have to pay for it. So what I'm telling you, like, if you want to come and impose a 30% tax, at least you have to balance it. You have to give something in return. So since there's nothing in return, there's no taxes.
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things about taxes. So like when I was living in London, I hated paying tax, right? Because I'm like, what am I paying for? Like the city kind of sucks. Like I don't feel you're paying for everything, but I don't feel like I'm receiving anything. In Australia,
But you're
I was
not
happy.
paying.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you
employer
how
is
you
paying.
see. You're not paying. In London, you are left with what you are left for. You're working for the government. You're
Yeah.
just a slave.
So you're paying
No,
tax.
you're not paying. That's 100% of your income.
You're receiving.
This-
You're receiving.
the
Yeah.
crumbs,
You're
and the
receiving
rest
the crumbs,
is for
yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are the product.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
the work. You are the product as a human working there.
It's like okay, forget the fact that you have a road tax and then you have a TV license and then like it gets so ridiculous that it's like if you're blind, you get 50% off your TV license because you can still hear.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
I love that. I love that.
And if you're deaf, it's the same thing because you can see.
I love
you
that.
know? And I was like, but when I went to Australia, I didn't mind paying taxes. I can see the money being spent. Like the government is
Reinvested
so
in the
helpful.
city and everything. Yeah.
I was more than happy to pay taxes over there. And that's what I was saying. Like, so in the Middle East, that's kind of the challenge, right? So obviously, I feel like eventually taxes are going to be a common thing.
So the way I see it, I get to meet people from all nationalities, and I love seeing the reactions on the faces where I tell them about the laws and start showing them the properties, and they were like, wow, and they're like, oh, really? So there's no tax, and this is only the price, and I only need to pay this, and you don't want a good credit score. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, so the reactions are either like, this is too good to be true, it's a scam, or like, wow, this is where we want to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and I've been doing this for a very long time, Hussein, and everyone now that I sold the property, they quadrupled up their money, and they keep calling me, say, thank you, we would have never done this in Europe. Like whoever invested $500,000 today, their properties is worth between 1.8 to 2 million. I'm talking from 2018 until date. So how can you make this money in Europe without being taxed?
Yeah.
Come on, let's be real.
Yeah.
Because over there you have property tax, registration tax, and you have capital gain tax, and you have every sort of tax. You will end up having 10% in your pocket.
But what's the ROI in one of these places?
Depends. Like you have the two format of lease. Let's say if you're getting into a 1-year lease, you can expect it to be anywhere between 5 to 6%. The actual game is in the short-term rental, like a daily, weekly, or monthly. I do have properties. My lowest is 9%, and my best is 18%.
These are mostly Airbnb properties?
Yeah,
or,
all of it. This is Airbnb, Booking.com, Expedia, all sorts of the stuff.
So the lowest is 9%.
Lowest is 9, the best is 18%.
For short-term rent.
Yeah.
The average ROI is about 5%,
because
which
Yeah,
is...
on the long term, 5 to 6%.
Yeah, so you're looking at a 20-year return rate then, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, like, no one does the long term anymore. Like, I was saying this in a video a couple of days ago. It's like, you are married to your tenants. You cannot get rid of them. If you want to increase the rent, you cannot just increase the rent. You have to follow the calculator that comes from Dubai Land Department, where they will tell you can increase 5-10%, or you cannot even increase. If you want to sell this property and someone is an end user, he wants to buy the property himself, you cannot get rid of him. And you never know what's happening in your flat. But while you're giving it to me on short-term rental, I have the housekeeping coming every week. I have the technical team, like the maintenance, they're coming to do the MEP check every month upon checkout. They're seeing the walls, the tiles, plumbing, electricity, everything. So in case there's any issues, we're doing the fixing and we're deducting it from the security deposit. So if you want to like see which one is best, short term is definitely the best. Plus it's giving you 25% to 30% higher than the long lease.
I think in Bahrain, You need a special license, like you need a license to be able to short-term lease.
The beauty about the short-term rent, it doesn't follow Dubai Land Department. It follows Dubai Tourism Department. It's a total different category. And they say on every residential property, no matter where the property is, you can get yourself a permit to be an operator and lease it for short-term. Now,
Okay,
you
so
cannot
have to get the permit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you cannot do it on hotel apartments or hotel rooms. You're not allowed to because they already falls under different operator. And it's such an easy process. So for example, if you have a studio or a one bedroom, you're paying 370 dirhams a year. That's what, 37 dinars?
Yeah.
If you have a two bedroom, you're paying 67 dinars.
There's nothing.
It's nothing. And if you have three bedrooms, you're paying 97 dinars. This is per year, one-time payment
nothing.
and done.
So you can sublet? Is that what you're referring to?
You're becoming an operator.
Okay,
You
so
can
you
lease
can
it.
Airbnb, booking.com, yeah.
So it's just an easy process. Now you also need to make a property insurance, which costs like 55 dinars, no matter what happens
For
in
that
this flat.
specific flat.
Yeah, it's none of your concern.
Yeah.
It's on the insurance.
Yeah.
And that's it. Photo shoot it, put furniture, put it on all of the portals and start making people money and let them enjoy their properties.
So how much were you crying, or how much were people crying rather, when COVID hit then?
We got damaged. It was a wrecking ball. Honestly speaking,
Wasn't it the opposite? Like, weren't people
Short-lived.
flocking to... not short... Weren't people
bro,
flocking
in
to Dubai?
In COVID,
Yeah.
airport closed. No one could flock anywhere.
That's in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So most of the landlords, they called us and they were freaking out. There's no tourism. What shall we do? Let's do a long-term lease. We were like, okay, we will do it. So I ended up having 11 units. Today I have 462.
How do you manage 400 units?
Most of them I sold them.
There we go.
Did your career started with this, right?
No.
With that building that you were
Oh, yeah.
Like that was your first big deal, right? It was managing, subleasing his
correct.
properties.
It wasn't subleasing. Actually, when I joined the real estate and I went to the office and I was listening to all of these agents with the boring phone call. Hi, sir. Do you want to sell your property? Do you want to rent your property? And I'm like, it cannot be that shallow. There must be something more into it. So I was roaming around in a very decent area in Dubai and I found a building which is branded as hotel apartments, which I went in and I said, I'm a client, I want to rent, even though I couldn't afford food back then. So when I saw it and I understood the model, I kept pushing for almost 4 or 5 months until I got it exclusive. And this is where I started my career doing leasing until 2017.
Okay.
2017, I went out
That's
of
short-term leasing, right? Because hotel apartments.
Yeah, it was everything. So they used to split the building into specific category that goes for a long term and the rest were daily, weekly and monthly.
Yeah.
Then when I moved to sales, I was doing amazing, but then I found like everyone was bored from the 5 to 6% returns. People needed more. So I'm like, how can I do more? And short-term rental. This is why I started the company. So they went together, like the sales and the short let, and
So you sell it,
manage it, make him more money. He will say, I love it, reinvest my income,
Buy me
reinvest
more.
my income. That's the snowball. It's like growing and growing. And that's how we ended up where we are today. But when it comes to us, I have people to listen to all of the complaints and give them solutions.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So the human element which makes us different, even though you have some annoying clients that they just want to whine for no reason. Like a guy is angry with his wife, he will call you, just want to have a conversation. I have people to listen to his stuff. You know what I mean? Someone telling me, oh, I don't like the ashtray in the apartment. I'm like, how about that 25,000 I just made you per month? The ashtray is the problem. Okay, we will get you a pink one or a yellow one based on your taste or whatever that he wants. Treat your clients like you treat your own parents.
People who book, let's say through booking.com or Airbnb or whatever it is, do they know they're dealing with prime stay, or do they think they're just dealing with this hotel or that building or whatever?
I do have 12 concierge that they will welcome you from the second you will land. They will take you to the apartment. They will open the door, show you how to use the access card or the PIN code. They will show you how to switch on the water heater, because believe it or not, some people don't know how to just to click on it. And they will call you, say it's cold water, I cannot shower. So I made sure that my concierge guide them like he's guiding a kid. This is your Wi-Fi, this is your room, this is all of this stuff. Plus, if you need anything, this is my contact number, my WhatsApp number, and that manager I told you about that he's always ready to get any inquiry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so of course they will remember us.
Okay.
When they will switch on the TV, they will see me talking and welcoming them.
Really?
Yeah. And
That's clever. That's clever.
yeah, and then they were like, this is all of our services, and we do other services. For example, these guys are coming to Dubai. It's just like, again, I'm selling them the experience. They want to book a boat. I have signed up with multiple companies like travel agencies
Purchase
that they
add-ons.
offer. Yeah,
That's clever.
yeah, they give this service. You want to rent a car? We also have companies. You want to have a fine dinner? Like even if you want the white glove service, I can provide. Just name it. What do you want? You have money? Name. What do you want? Just keep it very simple.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's amazing. So what percentage would you say are repeat customers versus new?
There's a difference between coming and retaining. Retaining, I can tell you we have 90%
Wow.
retainer. I have 10% that something happened. You know, I had lots of crazy cases where they were not in my control. Staying in the flats, they were supposed to check out today. They got COVID. Like even the ministry will not let them go. They have to stay in the flat for
Yeah.
10 days.
Yeah, yeah.
And someone booked this flat. So because of COVID, I had to give him another. I cannot even relocate this guy. He's sick.
Yeah.
But what this guy will say, okay, these companies are scammers. They showed me pictures. They gave me another
This for
apartment.
the next one
And
coming.
I was
Okay.
even showing them the result of COVID. like how more transparent can you be?
Yeah.
They wouldn't get it. Unfortunately, I had a case also when someone was coming to a flat and the guy in the flat commit suicide. So the
Jesus
police
Christ.
had to close it for 1 week. Yes. And he saw it and he knew it and he still gave me a bad review.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so shall I pass the police because you like the blue furniture and the green is not working with you? Like, come. So that's what I'm telling you. In hospitality,
Do you have to give notice for that property if the person died and people want to rent it?
it was the first time I had
Was,
this experience.
was he a client? The
He
guy
was a
committed
client.
suicide?
Jesus.
Short-term
Yeah,
stay?
yeah, yeah. He was a client and
He's on holiday.
yeah, what? It wasn't holiday. So,
Suicide holiday.
so he came to Dubai because his missus took the kid and she came to Dubai. So he followed here to see her, trying to get back to her. Apparently she said, no, we're not coming back. Now what was very weird that he called my concierge and he said, I'm extending few days, come take the rent. So the concierge went to pick up the rent. He saw the guy on the floor with the police and the
Oh my
stripes and
God.
everything. And so the police told us no one can step a foot in the flat. And we were like, obviously, of course. And then they gave us back the flat after 8 days.
Okay.
But that guy, he couldn't even absorb it. Like this person died and I cannot let you in the apartment.
I wouldn't even want that
yeah,
apartment.
there's
you know?
investigations, there's police, there's stuff happening.
That's why I wonder if it's the same case like in the US, because if the previous tenant believes that there's a ghost in the apartment, they have to tell that to the next purchaser or the renter.
Yeah.
They have to like drop it into a conversation. Oh, by the way,
Yeah, those sounds, they're real. Yeah.
I have to ask the $1 million question here. Was the money for the rent in the apartment?
What?
When the concierge went in, did he actually leave the money for the
Come
rent
on,
there?
Jose, that's too dark, man. Come on. Who cares?
He didn't.
He called the guy to come up to get the rent.
That's a great screw you.
So what I'm telling you, there's lots of stuff where situation
insane, though.
happens
Yeah.
out of our hand, but the people will
No,
not
of course,
understand
that's not in your
yeah,
control.
but
at
he
all.
wouldn't understand it. Even though he saw the corpse, he wouldn't understand it. You know what I mean? They were like, "Oh, I saw
gave
the
you bad-
couch
so
was."
then he gave you a bad review
They
online?
give you a bad review,
No way.
and they're mental.
Oh my God.
And even though I waived 50% of his stay, and I'm like, I'm gonna pay for it. I don't know why you're picking my brain for $600.
I'm not
Don't worry about that.
No, listen. If I would rent a place and somebody be like, "Oh yeah, you know what? We can't use the property. A guy committed suicide there." My first thought would be like, "How bad was that service?"
It's his wife, man.
I didn't know how to turn the heater on.
I was showering in cold water. You know? I have crazy people coming. I had one time, so someone texted me on Instagram, "Hey, I know you're the owner of this company. You have to talk to me. Your team are being irresponsive." I'm like, "Okay, give me your number." I called her. "What's the issue?" She was like, "Yeah, I was supposed to check out today, but I cannot check out because my bag is ruined." I'm like, "Okay, like what can we do for you? You still have it?" She was like, "No, you know, this is my favorite bag. I love it. I'm emotionally invested in it." I'm like, I'm very curious to know how it got ruined. So she was like, I put it under the sink and there was a bit of leakage from the sink that went to my bag. And I'm super frustrated. And I'm like, how much the bag cost? She was like, $200. I'm like, send me your bank account. I'm going to send it to you right now. And for God's sake, never let yourself be upset for something which can be solved into money. She was like, oh, you're super helpful. I'm like, no, but you're making an issue from nothing. You know, that's your money. Get a new bag. Please leave the apartment so I can get a new tenant. So that's what I'm telling you. You always need to manage people. And the issue is like that you do 1 million thing right. It's okay. It's expected from you. Yeah. But God forbid, if any minor mistake happened, everyone wants to jump on you and give you reviews and tell you I've paid money as if they have invested in the property. It's just like a few $100.
But that's not just with you. Like even with any business.
Everywhere.
Like
go to any hotel.
Like
any hotel.
Not just hotels. Like
this is whenever you're working with B2C. That's B2C
is always like it's like let's say with a restaurant, right? Like you went, you had an amazing meal. You're not going to tell anyone about it, right? You might tell one person about it, but if you have a bad experience, you're going to tell all your friends about it. Don't go there.
You're going to start shouting. Don't come in. The food is horrible. So go away. The food is horrible. Yeah,
there's so many places I've never been to just because my friends told me, oh, it was really crap. Like don't go there. So I just don't go. There was a queue of people. Waiting for some property from some developer project, and you're like, oh my, look at these guys waiting in line, and then like you just roll up to the front of the line.
I'm not the front. I just came in. I didn't even queue. Okay, because those guys were standing up, and the best guy maybe had a check for 1 unit. I was coming in to make a deal of 25 million, so there was someone waiting for me. And that day, you didn't see what I was wearing. I was in my pajamas and flip-flops because I had the surgery. I told you about it. And I was so swollen. There's no shoes that can go to my feet. And I couldn't even walk because I was wearing the garments and stuff. I couldn't walk. So I came in as like this guy. They were like, okay, so either he just left the mental hospital or there's something wrong. Came in, hey. I sat down, barely could sit down, got the papers, gave the check, signed it, and left. And everyone was like, how? I'm like, the brand is there. Like now finding a KYC form is not enough. You cannot say the source of fund is family business. No, Habibi. What does your family do? Where did they get this money from? Sometimes they ask you about the money coming from your bank account. And I'm like, what's the source of fund? I'm like, it's the bank. They were like, yeah, but where did this money get to the bank? I'm like, go fucking ask the bank, man. Why are you asking me? Like, okay, for example, I have a couple, they're in their 50s and he wants to buy. I'm like, what's the source of the fund? He was like, family business. Great. Where's the money coming from? X bank. Then someone here tells me, okay, how did he get the money in the bank? Like, go ask his bank, man. I cannot investigate with the guy. So that's why when you're gonna come into a fund or a pool of investors or a bond or whatever you wanna call it or do it, you wanna make sure to perfect it. You don't wanna be raising flags later on. And especially when you will be getting these transfers of hundreds of millions. Like now, if you're starting a fund with $10 million, it's easy. But when you pass the 100 million, there will be lots of questions to ask. So you need to make your foundation proper to save yourself the future headache.
And it also depends on who's involved in that fund. It makes a huge difference. Like if
Hussain is involved in it, we have to.
Red flags everywhere. Well, how is now with the peace treaty and the business alliance with Israel now? How is it? Are you dealing with are you seeing a lot of Israeli investment in Dubai?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's businesses happening. There's property investments happening. There's lots of stuff happening.
Are they good clients over there?
I haven't dealt with someone.
Have you not sold them yet?
I haven't sold because mainly they do deal with like their own agents.
Of course.
Okay. So like, and their own agents are Jewish as well?
There is agents that are Jewish. Mainly, some of them, they're not Israeli. Some of them, they're French Jewish. Some of them, they're German Jewish.
But they're Jewish.
They're Jewish. So
they're still doing the same system. The Jewish helping the Jewish.
Chinese. Chinese will only deal with Chinese agents. Yeah. Some they will tell you it's the mentality. Some they will tell you it's the language barrier. They give you all sorts of reasons. You know what I mean? So it's like, there is some nationalities that they only deal with their own agents and their own.
Are they buying like crazy?
I cannot tell you because I see the list of the top 10 investors every year and they're not in the top 10 investors. So now I cannot tell if they are in the top 20, top 50, but I'm sure if you want to follow like the prices in their own country, which is above the roof, Dubai is extremely affordable to that. So definitely, if they're looking to diversify the portfolio, like what you can buy, I don't know, in Israel, can buy you in a house, it can buy you 4 or 5 in Dubai.
Okay.
So I'm sure their way, like they're kind of diversifying it.
But we often have a misperception, like we think this money is purely generated from Israel. Most of this money comes from the US that then generates from Israel, and then in turn
actually
comes
from
back.
Europe.
So,
Yeah.
So it's not like that cut and dry where you can be like, oh,
Gentlemen, really quickly, we have a question from a friend of the podcast, Rashid. He asks, how do you think the VR and the metaverse will change the real estate sector?
Virtual reality and augmented reality are actually really helping us when we're dealing with international investors, because basically if the property is ready in Dubai, it's easy for us to just go make the video, film it and send it to them. But now the augmented reality is making them see the property and they can move in it and they can have the feeling not only of the property but on the community itself, like they can look from the balconies. So this technology is amazing. The metaverse is even enhancing it, and it will help us doing the payment, the paperwork and everything. So this will help a lot. But there is a misconception where people are saying that maybe AI is gonna take over the job of a broker, which it can never happen unless if you're looking for an order taker. So if you're looking to tell, yes, I want this property, this view, this price, book it, any CRM can do it for you.
Yeah.
But most of the sales are an emotional experience. Like when I'm talking to someone and this guy has a family and I'm making sure that this guy understands that this room is for, let's say he has kids, Adam and Eve, just to say examples. Adam will be playing in here, and then he's gonna go play basketball with his kids. Eve will be playing with her Barbies in here. That emotional feeling, there's no AI is gonna give it to them. So they cannot replace us, but they will enhance the sales and the experience, and they will make our life easier, definitely.
As a tool.
I think
Yeah.
I'd agree with you about 70 to 80% of the way. I feel like in the medium to upper market, I think people want to speak to human beings because they want problems solved.
Yeah.
But I think at the very bottom end, the cheapest dime, they're going to just use AI to do the
That's
bookings.
what I told you. If you're looking for an order taker,
Exactly.
which is useless as a human being and
Exactly.
shouldn't be in the industry,
but
AI will be more polite.
Actually, there's something more, like I would say with the AI, since you brought up AI. I think AI could be better than a human broker in a lot of ways. In what sense? Like, for example, let's say I saw a specific property that I wanted, and I asked AI, by the way, how much is a property? What has the trend been in the last 6 months? How much are the other properties selling around it? It would have all that information like immediately, which the broker might not know.
Due diligence. This is a different stage.
Yes,
That's
but
the due diligence. It's not the sales.
You're also trusting the data that's been fed into the AI,
Correct.
right? That's also
Correct.
a big problem. But my point to it was, we will at the very bottom, people will end up in situations where there's not going to be problem solvers, right? There are already companies that when you call them up on by phone, it's a robot.
Yeah.
And your issue isn't going to be dealt with. That's the end of that.
And I hate that.
But come on, how annoying that shit
I don't talk
is.
to
Come on.
chatbots.
But that's what I'm saying.
Chatbot, I close it.
That's the very
But
bottom.
that's because the AI is not smart enough on these chatbots.
But I promise you,
No, it's annoying. It's like you always want to say, "Give me a fucking human. Let me speak to a human." You know what I mean? Because you know it's programmed, and they're gonna answer you something so stupid that you're not looking for. And even sometimes
They're gonna be like, "Go to the
when you're
website."
calling, and they will give you 5 options on the dial. Okay, I don't need any of the options. That's why I need a human.
I always press
to
zero.
explain
I always
my
press zero,
case.
zero, zero,
Press
zero, zero, zero.
and go back again, and then out of nowhere it will hang up. I'm like, motherfucker, call again.
But you guys must have also experienced it with like companies like with Apple when they fucked up a product. For example, I had like a delayed delivery for an iPhone or something like that. And although I talked to a human being, which read off a script, they couldn't give you an answer outside of that fucking script.
They say, go
We
to
will
the
look at it and we're gonna come back to you,
they'll be
and
like,
they never come back.
They say, go to the Apple store. Go to the Apple store.
Yeah, and then when
we don't have an Apple store here.
Yeah, and when you go actually to them, you're like, well, you have to book, and how far do you have to book in advance? 1 week. And I'm like, listen,
I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow.
I tell you what's the difference. When you're talking to a human and he mess up, especially if he calls himself as a customer service, you can destroy that company. You can bash it, that you have hired the most stupid customer service ever. While if it's a system and it's
Can't
recorded.
blame the system.
Can't blame the system.
Yeah.
Come on, we had a glitch in the system. We're sorry. Your phone is gonna come. You just have to wait for it.
Yeah.
And you will wait for it.
Exactly.
We don't have public
This is
data.
okay, so basically when I'm talking to a client, end of the day, it's data and numbers that speaks.
Yeah.
So I can tell him, in my own opinion, I think it's wow. Who cares about my opinion? He wants to see data. So when I tell him, okay, buddy, this guy bought in 2018 for 1.2. 2019 was 1.7. Today is 2.4. Pick it up before it goes to 5. You see the elevation. Then you're like, okay, numbers are speaking. When I tell him, okay, it's making 7%, he was like, based on what? I'm like, based on the rental, which is registered on Ijari. And this, it was paid 1 check, 2 checks, 4 checks.
Okay.
So when I'm giving him this data, that's the sale.
I think this is what makes the Dubai property market more interesting, is because you have data like that.
You need
Here
transparency.
it's like you're shooting in the
That's
stars.
not going to happen in this.
We don't have any like
That's not gonna
data,
happen.
and there's
To be
private
very
companies
honest-
trying to collect data, but no one's
That's not going to happen.
done it yet.
To be very honest, I haven't seen any country or city in the region that has the same.
You brought up an interesting thing on the Hyperloop, and you said the Hyperloop should be ready December, right?
December or Jan.
December or Jan. So I now think, like, with the whole Hyperloop thing, I think this will actually help the Bahraini property market. And Bahrain's way cheaper to live in than
Okay.
Dubai, property-wise. So then you might find people living here or sleeping here and working there, or Saudi or whatever.
That's not
Bahrain
gonna
would just be like the cheaper suburb if there was a 20, 30-minute transportation.
Even then, because it would end up like in China, where if you live outside the city, you're a second-class citizen.
Doesn't matter about being second class.
I think the
No, I'm
facilities and the abilities that you will have in Dubai will outcompete what you're going to find in Bahrain.
You're selling all these properties in Provident, whatever, you have 300 agents, right? Why is everyone not doing the same level?
It's the 20-80, which happens on the
Why
planet.
is it
20% work, 80% how I wonder how they're making money. It's everywhere. It's in every industry. Basically, it goes back to you as a human. Why you're in this job. I left my family, I left my friends, I left my childhood memories, I left everything, not to make a fucking living. I came here to be wealthy as fuck. I'm trading all of this with this money. So for me, every day that I don't make at least a deal or at least $1,000, it's a wasted day. The way I see it, I've been fooling around all of my life. I came to UAE, I was 30 years old. And now I'm working not year by year, I'm working to cover those 30 years.
What was that snapping point in you?
The city destroyed me. It steps on you like a cockroach. It's so big. Like even now, if you're a millionaire living in Dubai, you need to keep quiet. There's a different level of money in Dubai. There's ridiculous money in Dubai. So how was my mindset?
You're a poor millionaire.
No, you go up to like a guy and you say, I'm a millionaire. He looks at you and goes,
Yeah. Like, keep it quiet and go sit, take a token. Oh, we have 78,000 millionaires in Dubai. This is no joke. The figures are scary. So how was my mentality? I was just like living day by day, partying every day, like every other guy that comes from Lebanon, just wanted to have fun. I can sleep 5, 6 a.m., wake up 5, 6 p.m., and my day starts without no goals or just like seeing where life will take me. And then when I came to Dubai and got that slap in my face that I'm nothing, I'm no one. You feel patient about your failure, accept the failure of everyone around you. But once you see like, oh my God, like I can literally die now, no one will even know about me. Like I can just be a dust. Okay, I need to make something from my life.
Yeah.
How to start? You do whatever you want. This is where life humbles you.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? That's the point that you reach? That's the rock bottom. And this is the best teacher. You need to hit the rock bottom. As long as you have one person in your life, whether it's your mom or a friend or anyone can borrow you this $20, $100 for you to survive, you will never push yourself to the limit. It's only life that hits you and humbles the hell out of you.
if you want to move up to the next level, you have to sacrifice something, whether it's time with family, friends, wife, kids, whatever. And then with each level of higher success, there needs to be a bigger pound of flesh to be given until you reach, you know, a point where you are just work.
Well,
No, I
did
don't
you
say it as a
sacrifice?
sacrifice. Bro, let me tell you how, and I know exactly what he's talking about. So, for example, when I came in here, I got to meet some people. Okay, these guys, they were working, having steady jobs. They took credit cards, they took personal loans, and they used to call me every 2-3 weeks by telling me, "We're flying to this country, jump on." Like, buddy, I'm barely surviving day by day. So for me, my travels was reading books where they were traveling, sending me videos, picture, they're having the time of their lives. After 6 months, the money is gone. They're all broke. They went down minus. They needed 7 years to break even with their own personal debt. While it was my time when I was starting to actually make a living. So I didn't see it as a sacrifice. I saw it as a way of self-development and learning. It was my doing my research, my learning. I was Googling, I was seeing what other people are doing. How can I keep it? So I don't say it as a sacrifice. I say it's a part of process. You know how the worm becomes a butterfly.
Yeah.
So you're in the worm stage, then you're in that cover stage, and then you will become a butterfly.
Is it a limited belief? Like the limited belief of, I can't make more than $100,000.
It's your parents.
Your parents? They told you couldn't.
That's from Rich Dad Poor Dad, I think.
No, it's the
It's your upbringing. It's basically the mindset.
I was talking about.
The idea that we the way that we see it, like we're listening to a generation that was listening to a generation that came from World War II. So these fighters, when the war stopped, they just wanted to have a calm life and a living. So they taught their children, okay, now you go to school, finish the school, go to university, meet up a nice girl, start a family, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't love her, love will follow later.
Yeah.
Right? This was the first thing.
And you make it work.
And then once you have kids, trust me, God will provide with kids. Yeah, He provides.
Rizq is from Allah,
But He doesn't provide rizq, He provides bills. And those bills will get heavy. And the kid will need to go to school. And once you start failing to be providing, your wife will start pointing finger at you. Look at our neighbors. Look at her husband. Look at their kids. So what you do as a man, because you feel like you're losing your manhood, you go take a credit card. And that's the game over. That you will never recover from it. So what I say is like, our parents are good people. We love them. But they are not the right people to take advices from them. The right people are to get yourself mentors who actually made the money. Like, how stupid will be for you to take a relationship advice from someone who has been divorced 3-4 times? Are you eligible to give an advice?
Of course.
But why are you giving advice? Because you're like 50 or 60? That means like you got experience and chill.
That's harsh. I feel like a guy who's divorced 5 or 6 times. I feel
He
like
can tell you how not to do it.
Yeah, I feel like
can't tell you how to do it, but he can tell you how not to do it.
And you know what they say? The best advice are from those who don't follow their own, right?
So what I'm saying, the best formula you can ever do, just to unlearn what they are telling you, because maybe it worked in the 80s, 90s, 2000, it's not working in our era. We are living in the most absolute beautiful time where we are seeing this massive shift in life and everything coming, and soon enough in 2-3 years we're gonna be having flying taxis in Dubai, which was just announced.
Yeah.
And with flying taxis, there will come personal flying cars. And we used to see this stuff in movies 25 years ago.
We all say university is a waste of time unless you want to be like a doctor, engineer, something like that.
Something technical, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think we're going to reach a point where no one's going to care if you have a degree anymore? I think
We're
already there. We're already there.
Let me tell you
No
something.
way.
If you look and see all of my employees, they're kids, 20, 21 years old.
Yeah.
I'm investing in them.
Yeah.
And they're investing in me. And they were like, if this guy is doing it and I'm being around him, the amount of knowledge that I'm going to grab from him on a day-to-day basis, there is no program for 20 to 30 years I can get it. They're getting the implement. I have people that they were like, Tony, let me just sit next to you. Don't pay me anything. I just want to listen to you, how you speak on the phone, how you handle people, how you handle problems.
Yeah.
So,
and you're going to be like, cool, that's $300 every 30 minutes.
That's the practice. You know what I mean? So I mean, from now, I can tell you, like, you cannot come to me, impress me with a CV. I don't even read it. But send me a video.
So what would
Send me a video on, bro.
to show you
Bro, there was one time I hired a kid who was 16 years old
to do what?
in Europe. He just sent me a video by saying, listen, I do some social media management, whatever, and I would love to work with you. And I'm like, if this kid got the balls to send me a video and talk to me like that, I want him around me. I hired him for 6 months. He wasn't amazing. He was terrible. I fucking gave him the opportunity. But get me someone now with a CV like that, I wouldn't even open it. I'm like, junk.
Yeah.
Junk.
All right. So let's say you're an 18-year-old guy.
Yeah.
What would you do? No, you have no money. As in, you're not wealthy.
YouTube.
No, what would you do? What would you, not just the learning. I'm not
Well,
talking
it depends
about,
on
I'm not
what
talking
you
about the
wanna
learning.
do.
What would you say if you were an 18-year-old in Dubai today, right? You just decided, I'm going to go.
Yeah, but it depends.
Where would you start?
I will look where the money is. Follow the cheese. Chapter number 9. Follow the cheese. Follow the money. Where is the money now? It's in banks. It's in real estate. It's in hedge funds. It's in luxury cars. It's in luxury boats. And it's in the luxury brands and the malls. I already established where the money is. Pick one and go specialize in it.
Okay, let's say you said luxury cars.
Yeah.
What would you do in terms of
I
luxury
will
cars?
stay on Google, learn every specs in that Lamborghini or a Ferrari,
Okay.
where I can just say it blindfolded, and I will kick the door of that showroom and I can tell him, listen, I don't want a salary. Let me tell you about each car you have in here. And trust me, there is no sales manager that will tell you. No, they will like, where have you been? This is what I will do.
Okay.
Yeah, I will get a fixed salary and I will get a kick-ass commission. And when I sell this guy this Ferrari, I'm gonna make sure that I know a very good real estate broker, such as myself. Because when a guy is buying a Ferrari, he needs a penthouse with it. So he's gonna send me that inquiry, I will sell him, and I'm gonna cut him off commission. This is what I will do. Like when I wanted to start, there was no mentors. The only guy I could have found was Gary,
And Grant Cardone.
and Grant Cardone. And when I saw Grant, I'm like, yes, that's the future me. Super aggressive, straight to the point.
So is Grant
Whether
that
he's
inspired you to go into real
Yes.
estate? Or did you pick real estate and then find
I
Grant?
was in real estate.
And then you found Grant.
But I was Googling like how stuff is being
Yeah.
done in New York, in Miami, in Europe. And then I stumbled into Grant and I'm like, okay, this guy is spitting golden nuggets. And then I'm like, from the free content that he had, it was enough for me to start making the money.
Can we snippet this and then send it directly to Grant Cardone?
He knows it already. I met him, I showed it to him, and I met him in Dubai.
Oh, really?
And I showed him that I took his course and everything, and we were laughing about it. But
He even
seriously,
talked about you.
Yeah, he even
Hey man, this guy's making 500 million or
yeah,
whatever.
$1 million earner. Yeah, he talked about me in his own video. So what I'm saying is like, I followed him and I was inspired by him, and I'm like, me and him matches. I'm not saying Gary is shit, but I cannot talk about sympathy all the time and go doing that selling in the basement. And
Well, Gary,
Yeah.
you don't imagine like your parents being hit by a bus every time you're feeling bad about your life? No, and you know that's his thing with Gary Vee, right? Every time he's like, how can you be depressed or whatever? He's like, you know, when I'm having a bad day, I just imagine like my parents getting hit by a bus and dying, and I feel blessed, and that they're not basically hit by a bus.
listen.
Can he
to
just
that-
not choose to feel bad?
He keeps saying this all this.
I'm not trying to bash the guy,
No,
but
no,
I'm
no,
telling
I know.
you, this is a character that
'Cause
I
it's-
cannot click.
And it's a different industry.
Yeah,
as well.
I cannot click with this character. I clicked with Grant. And back then, I promise you, there was 2-3 people. Who else? There was Ed, Tony Robbins, but Tony Robbins were more into
Mindset,
Yeah,
motivation.
walking on the star.
Yeah.
And it was more of a so Grant. It was my guy. So I was obsessed. I promise you, the second I wake up, I look at his videos, and I fall asleep listening to him.
And then you met him.
And then I met him.
Was,
I have the
was it-
same
was
thing
it
with
true,
Alex
Is it
Jones.
true what they say about never meeting your heroes?
Yeah.
No,
He's not going to get another call out.
Listen, I'll tell you something. It's like, it's not this way, but I used to see him as a god. And after I met him, I'm like, he's still a very knowledgeable person. He's one of the best marketeer ever there. But what he has on top of me, that he started 30 years before me. So I'm gonna be there, and definitely I'm gonna try Or actually, I'm gonna achieve it. I'm gonna be bigger than him. Let's not trying to do all of this
Okay,
humble
so it's
shit.
interesting.
Yeah.
So Grant has obviously Cardone Capital, right? And he raised he talks about all the time, raising like 200 million just through Instagram and stuff. And then obviously a lot of videos been made on Cardone Capital, and like the returns are like 6%, something like that.
Even
right?
less than
some of
yeah,
5
and
point something.
between him getting his management fees and
Yeah.
1% of purchasing this property and offloading, you can make with him 4%.
Did you ever invest in Cardone Capital?
I saw the portfolio. I went to a very hardcore questions that I was never answered these questions. So I felt it was a vague area, and I was like, no. I don't want to invest in anything that I don't have control on and I can get out of it in a matter of seconds.
Okay. Because I think
After experience.
his dream is to sell to BlackRock one day.
Why not? He has the credibility. He has the name. He has investors. Banks love dealing with him. He never defaulted. And he started when he was 52. Today he's 65.
Yeah.
So he built this in 13 years.
That's amazing. See, he built that in 13 years. You built whatever you've built so far in 8 years.
Yeah.
Which should be an inspiration to anyone listening. Everyone thinks, takes time,
No, what I actually built, I built from 2018 until date, which is 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, the beginning was just to me to be standing on my feet, understanding the corporate life, understanding how stuff work. From Rich Dad and Poor Dad, which was the first book I read, I actually knew what's the difference between asset and liability. I always used to make money, burn it the same night. Now, no, invest all of the money. The returns you're getting, burn it. Who cares? It's coming next month. But don't burn your assets.
Yeah.
So make sure that you invest.
Don't kill the cow that gives you the milk.
Yeah, and this is what I have done for multiple years, that I did crazy amount of investments, and now I can tell you, okay, now I can have the financial freedom that I want. Now I can decide if I wake up tomorrow, I don't feel like working, I won't work, I won't bother.
Yeah.
Now I can do it, but before it wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Before it's like, doesn't matter how you feel. You have a program, you have an agenda, wake up, go do your gym. Not because you like the gym, screw it, but it will make you pump, it will make you energetic. Finish, go do your work, finish your work, come do your social media. You did your social media, come prepare the day after, and then do your self-assessment. Did I do well today? Did I give it my all? No, then I have to put more to
Do you
more.
actually do this every day?
I still do the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly assessment
On yourself?
on myself. And no one can judge me like I judge myself. I'm the only one that knows if I've put my all today or not.
I think that's one of the differences as well, right? So like I've known you for a couple of years now, and it's like, it's not that you made the money, so that's not the thing, but you still calculate everything.
Yeah, of course.
It's like you're still like, how much is that in dirhams? Oh, that's a ripoff. This little thing or whatever.
Yeah,
so you still look after everything.
Yeah.
What so the mindset, let's say like the past mindset with the present mindset is still there.
No, like before I used to look at tags. Now I don't look at tags. I like it, I'm gonna buy it regardless of what's the amount. And sometimes I reach the cashiers and the amounts are fucking, oh wow. Anyway, I still do it. But the way I see it is like, what's the purpose of me buying this? Am I buying this cup because I like it? It's giving me a good feeling. It's being productive for my work, or I'm buying it because I'm bored.
Yeah.
And so many times I buy stuff because I'm bored.
Yeah.
So now the way I see it, that everything has to give a return, whether it's emotional, financial, mental, educational, something like that.
So you think about it on every purchase.
Not on every purchase, but at least the major one.
Yeah.
You see how I buy cars. You see how I buy stuff.
No,
I don't even care.
But you're getting a return.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
that?
Yeah. So people see it like, if he's buying this car, it's a full show off. No, I'm buying this car to be member of the club.
Exactly.
Where I'm following that she is, and I'm center of the millionaires and the billionaires.
Yeah.
While you retard are just throwing hate on internet that I'm a show off.
Did the car? That's a good point. So now when you got the Rolls, okay, did the car help with attracting more clients?
Cool. And this is what I was telling you. It filtered down the
time
time
waster.
wasters. Like, you wouldn't look at the guy coming like that and say, yes, I want to see a property, unless you really want to see a property.
And I also feel like it's a very different energy, I think, when, I don't know, energy vibe, whatever. But when you arrive, let's say in a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce, a prospecting client, if they give you the attitude of like, so what? Then you know, okay, there's this guy is
Yeah.
also more serious. But if he's like, hey, oh, you
No,
know,
but
that car, this car,
This
then
is
you're
what-
like,
no. This is what you didn't get in the service. That I don't arrive. I send my driver to his house to pick him up in that car, and he comes to me. So he's coming feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
Then we have the
And
conversation.
he knows he has to spend money.
Yeah.
It's-
Then
it's
we
that-
have the conversation. Then I sit next to him and we do the tour. And upon him finishing that tour, I just open the cooler and I take out the champagne and say, cheers to the investment. I didn't sell him a property. I sold him the experience. And he will remember me and he's going to refer me. So that's the difference. I'm not showing off in the car. I'm giving you a comfort that you will never forget. Most of these clients, they haven't even seen the car rather than being in that car. So now he already felt he's a VIP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everyone wants to feel appreciated,
Yeah.
whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
is this
Yeah.
the story you told the missus? It was just has to buy the purchase.
So now, how much would you say, for you personally, right? How much has marketing helped in terms of your business, getting the clients in your real estate game?
I can tell you that branding did everything.
Branding.
Marketing, anyone can today come and do a landing page, connect it to Instagram.
It's just that you
make
have
this
you have an
video.
amazing logo. That's the main thing.
Yeah, which was done by you, which I still held by you.
I still use it. I was like,
So the branding made the difference. And as I told you, my brand for developers, that when this guy comes, he's making a mega deal. When I'm showing up with you as a client, I really value you, because if you were a time waster, I wouldn't even bother to meet with you. And now it's like most of the people working in that developer, they are the ones harassing me. Come work with me. Come give me a deal. Come give me that. Come give me this stuff. You know what I mean? And I think what I have established in the real estate in Dubai, it's not international. Like, no matter who you are, there's no way you will type real estate or Dubai or something that you will not see any piece of my content. No way. Whether if you're looking for a real estate academy, physical academy, online academy, you want to take a book, or you just want to see videos explaining rules and regulation or how to join real estate, I'm there. So I can tell you that I don't have one clientele. I'm just like giving everyone knowledge, and I'm taking charge for it.
yeah.
So where would your spending on your capital when it comes to the marketing? Are you spending it more on digital, on legacy media? Is it important? I mean, having a book and published obviously gives a lot of credibility to an individual, which is a very smart idea. Do you still feel like the idea of paying for a PR service to have stories written and stuff like that still has a position? Or you kind of think that's dead?
There is no method which is the perfect method. You have to do a bit of everything.
He has PR pieces, by the way.
Yeah.
He's like has a machine gun. It just whatever the marketing, do it.
Yeah, so it's like you have to do it all. I do have a podcast. I film minimum 2 or 3 guests a week. On top of this book, I have my second book is coming in May. It's gonna be in the market. So this book is how to become a proper salesperson. The other one is coming, how to become a proper investor. So each one goes to a specific
Different stage.
niche.
Different stage.
What I do on my social media, so I still do email blast. I do SMS blast.
You still do it?
Yes, and you see what I used to do. Yeah. So I do everything, and you never know where you're gonna get that inquiry from. So I cannot tell you there's one proper method, but you have to do your lead gen, your PAP, your Google Advert, your YouTube videos, YouTube ads, which can all be mentioned in the book. Like, I do have 14 ways of doing marketing, and you have to do it all.
Personally, in my gut, I think that legacy media will carry you further at the moment.
Give me an example of legacy media that you
Having
would spend.
like-
What would you spend this $10,000 on?
Having like a piece on you on CNN, or having a piece on you on a magazine or a
be gone.
newspaper. I feel like
That's one shot. Gone.
I feel like that reach and that portfolio that you get from it it gives it a lot more trust than just seeing an ad pop up on Google website or on Instagram promotion.
I personally have to disagree on that.
Yeah, we're gonna fight on this.
As a marketer, I have to disagree
Finally,
on
you
that.
gave me a break. Now I'm gonna enjoy. Yeah.
Listen. Legacy media. There's only two reasons we use legacy media, which you're talking about, like CNN, whatever. Even, by the way, even your legacy media you're talking about, you're looking for the digital credit of it. So, for example, if it's CNN or Forbes or whatever, it's on their website, that article about you, right? It's still digital.
Sure.
Right? Because that's how it lasts forever. That's how it's indexable and stuff. But a lot
Sure.
of times people want to be on legacy media for one reason. Just say, as seen on CNN, whatever. You know,
who's watching
to
on
add that.
CNN?
No one's watching.
No.
They're
There is
not-
people watching.
But
There is people watching, but how old are they?
they're not. There's people watching who are not buying, but you on your website can say as seen on blah 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 in your digital media.
Who owns the largest portion of wealth in the age group? The old, right? They have the largest portion of savings. They have the
With
largest
the
portion of
crypto
wealth.
world, it kind of
Yeah.
changed.
And the crypto world, fine, but in hard
Oh,
dollar,
$3.2 trillion is also not
What is
joke.
the age range? Okay.
US GDP is 3 trillion or 4 trillion a year.
What is the typical age range of the clients you deal with? That you sell properties to?
Mainly, it always used to be between 35 to 55 until 2 years ago when I started meeting kids. And kids, I'm saying 19 to 22, 23, coming in and saying, how much is this? I'll take 2.
where are they from? Where are they
That's
from?
digital media.
Russians,
There we go.
Europeans.
But
No,
by the way,
no.
even 35 to 55, that's still digital media.
No, but I'm telling you, like when that boom happened in the crypto world of that bull run in the 21, I got people that were scared. And you look at them like he's not even wearing clothes. You feel like he just put a garbage bag on them and came to meet you, just waking up. How much is this? Give me a floor, give me 2 floors. And I'm looking at him.
These are the crypto kids?
Yeah, I'm like, how do you even dare buying 2 floors in your age and just bear? I don't know, like I don't know what I would bought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, and why? Because they knew that something is happening and they wanted to park the money. And you can tell that they are super inexperienced because I was telling them, why would you pay for a property 100%? Where I'm giving you a similar property that you can pay for it only 25%. We get the keys, remaining 75. It will be on 5 years post handover. I will manage it, get you the return, and whatever is missing on the quarter, you inject it. So instead of you buying 1 by 7, it was like, I just want to pay 100%.
Just wants to
And
get
way
rid of-
bigger a property.
Yeah.
So this is why I knew that these kids are not experienced, but they just got shitload of money that they don't know what to do with it. They were like, let's park it in real estate.
Yeah.
So everything is changing. You can never tell, who's gonna have this amazing run, who's gonna hit it in the stock, who's shorting, who's longing at the
Yeah.
perfect time. You never know.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to tell you that the reach of people for wealth, especially in the past 5 years, is becoming way easier than it was in the 2000s.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And this is why it's all about digital media. And I would say one thing. Okay, let's say, like, for example, in real estate, right? So you're talking about branding. And I think branding is obviously really important because it's like, if I want to buy a property in Dubai or anywhere in the world, by the way, for that matter, to me as a customer, I don't care if it's this broker or that broker or that broker. I want that property. Who am I speaking to, right? But where the brand comes in, it's like, cool, I get to at least, I can go shopping with a friend. If
That's what I
it's
say.
called.
That's the experience. You're shopping with a
Because you're
friend.
shopping with a friend, right? So it's like, if I have to see a bunch of stuff, I'd rather, for example, go with you than with some dork that's boring. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna
And it's gonna be pushy and buy now and
Yeah,
give me
yeah,
the
yeah,
check
yeah,
and this is
yeah.
the last unit
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah,
shit
yeah.
experience. Yeah.
So that's where, like, seeing this guy, his content online, his videos, whatever. Because normally when you watch someone's social media, you feel like you know the person, even though you've never met the person.
Correct.
Right?
Or at least you get an idea.
You get an
about
idea,
how
a
you-
feeling, or you might even be a fan of the person or whatever. So it's like, cool, I'm gonna have fun with him. And I think that's the big difference between, I would say, like, why one would succeed a lot more than, because how many brokers in Dubai?
26,
Before you used to say
27,000.
9, 10,000.
Yeah.
So it's doubled.
When I met you, it used to be 6.
10x.
Now we're 27,000.
So 27,000 of them, right? Like, why would you pick one over the other? That's where your personal branding, social media comes in.
Well, I agree with you.
But it's also not the case. Like there is lots of guys who have amazing social media presence and they're morons. and they have no idea how to do any sale, but they're a good marketer. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
people mix it up. So what I'm trying to tell you is like, if you're looking for an order taker, it can be anyone. If you have an issue, talk to people, listen to what they have to say. Get a second opinion. Like if you're going, you have a surgery, it's not like the first doctor was like, yeah, come opening me up. You will talk to 2, 3, and you'll see who's the most logical or who you can tick with them. So ask these guys, make your due diligence. Also, you can look up on, let's say, if you're looking at the portal, that if someone has 2 properties listed and another guy has 80 listings, what does it mean? Like this guy is making the effort.
Yeah.
This guy just
Yeah.
found 2 properties to list it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can look at the app in Dubai Land Department and you can see the stars.
Yeah.
There's ratings.
Yeah.
You have from nothing to 4 stars.
On brokers?
On the brokers, you can see.
Brokers
like
have
now,
some- brokers
now
have
their
ratings?
main issue that they don't put the numbers of sales you have done, especially in our category. The off-plan.
You're dying for this to come
Yeah,
on
of
the
course,
platform.
because like no one can even be around the numbers I have made.
Yeah.
But still, I got the 4 stars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Is
there
out of 4?
Yeah, the 4 is maximum.
Okay.
So there is ways for you to do proper due diligence. Doesn't mean if they have social media account, it's a nice social media, they are legit. Why people want to be in Bahrain? Because look at the Russians, look at the Ukrainians, they all have mega sections. So if you can tell these guys, come drop 50,000 dinar, get your residency. Under your residency, you can apply for a bank account, move your money in here without no hassle, and you can roam around and all of this. Because if you have like Bahraini visa,
Yeah.
it's the same like any GCC visa. You can go to Dubai, you can go to Saudi, you can go everywhere. And this is how you need to show this attraction.
sell it.
People don't know
we
it.
just
People
have
don't
we
know
just
it.
have very strict anti-money laundering.
But there's
laws.
no money
I'm
laundering
just saying.
in here.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Don't know which Russians we're talking about, but just saying. You know?
Yeah, so I'm telling you, like there is massive issues in the world as we speak, and if you are giving them solution, they will come to you. But if you are sitting and here and saying, "Oh, Bahrain is chilled, the market is relaxed,"
no.
we don't
No,
have
no.
the same buyers like before.
No. This is not what I was saying. So the reason I was bringing this up was to why Bahrain, right? No, Ashtray.
Oh, sorry.
Why Bahrain? So I'm saying there are many reasons to set up in Bahrain instead of Dubai as a foreign investor. So I'm wondering now, when you're in Dubai, obviously there are people who come to Dubai and they want to be in Dubai, but you get leads or contacts from Europe while they're still over there.
Of course.
And then do you think if that person who called from over there and be like, have you considered Bahrain as an option instead of Dubai?
You know what they will
And
say? What is
They'll
that?
be like, where's Bahrain? So let me tell you where Bahrain is. And then boom, 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 boom. I think this could divert the traffic.
I don't think so.
I think it
I'll be
could. No,
devil's advocate.
honestly,
Bro,
by the way,
tell
no
you
one knows
something.
what Bahrain is. No one knows the advantages of Bahrain. No one knows why
Tell
they
you
should sell
something.
Bahrain. But
In
they all know
order
Dubai.
for you to take a 10 years visa in Dubai as a golden visa, even on real estate, they don't give 10, they give 5. And your investment has to be 2 million, right?
Yeah.
2 million, which is about 200,000 dinars.
Yeah.
And here you're giving it for 50. And once you have it here,
Yeah.
you have it everywhere in the Gulf
Live in Bahrain, work in Saudi.
or in Dubai or wherever, you know.
I mean, for now, Saudi being the
Yeah,
hot spot, and
where the money is.
it's a drive away, right?
but you have-
It's a selling point. I'm saying if they sold it properly to the Western world, people who are relocating at the moment, and there's always people relocating, you can actually give them a reason to set up here. If enough of them actually come here, I'm not even talking about a lot of people. Let's say, you get an extra 20, 30,000 foreign investor type that set up here. Bahrain will start growing.
Sure, but you have to. I mean, you have
It'll be
to.
the domino effect.
You have to index it correctly, right? What is Bahrain and what does Bahrain want to do? At the end of the day, Bahrain is a country for its citizens, like every other country, right? And the same struggles that Emirates face with the Emiratis, because a lot of the Emiratis feel like Dubai isn't Emirates. It's like New York or Paris or London, right? I don't think you can duplicate that process in Manama. The country is too small, right? So that's the large issue, because a lot of the times people would come up and would be like, oh, you know what? If they would just introduce gambling, they could turn it into Las Vegas, right?
In Hawar Island.
Sure, wherever. But that's not something that the citizens, in the end of the day, want. and that's okay.
That's what Hawaii Island's for.
Right? I mean, this is the way you have to look at things. And sure, there's opportunities, and you could do this and you could do that. But any step that you do, in my opinion, that is a competition aspect from tourism in Dubai, you will always be second place.
It's not. It's not about. I didn't say it's about.
By the way, there's a lot of money in second place as well.
Exactly. That is true. It's not going to replace Dubai. It's just going to improve Bahrain.
Bahrain is on the map. All of the Gulf is on the map. I'm super happy to see all of the rise of the GCC. I always said on my podcast, this is the new Europe, and whatever they used to call as the American dream, the dream is happening in here. American is going through nightmares right now.
Yeah.
Europe is being destroyed everywhere. The safest
It's a
places.
failed society.
Yeah, it's a failed society under the name of the freedom. So this is the place happening, and for the next 10 years, we're gonna see all of the GCC, also the Middle East rising. Like this is the time of the Middle East and Africa, in my own opinion. Yeah.
Do you see Lebanon going through a restructure eventually?
I hope.
You hope? Yeah.
I don't know, the light end of the tunnel is making like that as of now. So I really hope that will be something, but I don't see it happening because so many politics, so many religions, so many hate happening on the upper class, where the lower class are really like struggling to make a living. This morning when I woke up, I was checking a video. One guy, he just picked up $3,000 and he was like, I'm gonna give $1,000 to every cab, every taxi driver who will give a free ride to someone else.
This is for TikTok.
Something like that. But I mean, the guy jumped in the taxi and he drove a bit, and there was an Egyptian guy. And this Egyptian guy will tell them, listen, I ran out of cash. Can you drive me to the same area where that the passenger said?
On the basis that he doesn't have money. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then most of them, they were like, no, I'm not going this way. I'm going the other way. And some guys were like, yeah, sure, come in. And then this guy, just to trick the driver, is like, why you're helping him for free? He's not even Lebanese. He's Egyptian. And the driver was like, I'm not doing it because nationality. I'm doing it for God, man. I'm just helping. And then they were like, can you please pull over? Pull up the $1,000 and give it to them. And every driver was crying.
And the
they
dollars
were crying
are worth
for $1,000.
And
for them, this is wealth.
Yeah.
That's how much they are damaged. This is what I'm telling you. Like, unfortunately, all of the warlords that they destroyed the country are still controlling it as we speak. So I don't see any hope. Hopefully it can happen without any internal civil war or something. I really hope so.
We had a DJ from Dubai who's Lebanese, and he talked about how he made his money in Dubai, and he went back to Lebanon to start a hair salon, of all things. And this was 6 months ago. He said, hey, you know what? It's difficult time in Lebanon, but I have to do my bit, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He built the shop, made it all nice. He said within 3 weeks of opening it, they smashed the windows, they destroyed the place. And he was like, I'm done. I can't. He said it was competition. He said it was
competition.
Yeah.
Listen, it's like
crazy.
It's like an open jungle. Everyone is
dog
carrying.
doggy
Everyone
dog.
has weapons. People are hungry. So it's like really ultimate wealth or extreme poor. There's nothing in between. You know, like usually you find a bit of middle. There's no middle. Either you're super wealthy or super broke. So what I'm trying to tell you that cases happened in Lebanese expats where these banks were telling them, come put the money, we're gonna give you 10%, 11%. These boys were taking personal loans from Dubai on 4% interest, saying we're gonna put on 10, 11, we will end up with 7.
Yeah.
They ended up now losing all of those, plus they are minus 5-6 years of their life.
The money got stuck.
Money got stuck and there is no way to revive it. And there is no way to control it. It's becoming the new Venezuela. The inflation is ridiculous. Like the lira is jumping 10, 20,000 sometimes in a day, which is like mental. So they're trying to make everyone busy doing it. And it's not a broke country. Like the country can be revived in 1 year through multiple stuff, international investments, building all of the seaside, doing lots of stuff. But they don't want it to happen
Until certain people leave.
no one will leave. It's a home for everyone. What they need to do is just like to really look it up, like God or the universe or whatever the hell you believe at gave you this opportunity to be a human and gave you this gift, which is life. Do you really want to spend all of your life on hating on a different nationality or your neighbor or different religion and spending all of your life trying to kill each other, where you can really see the world and see the beauty of life and do something productive of your life?
Tribalism.
Yeah, and the issue that the people who lives there, they are stuck in that circle. They don't know what's outside of this tiny box.
It's what in a
like North Ireland
sad
and
way.
South
It's what
Ireland,
entertains
Northern
you
Republic
and
of
keeps
Ireland.
you.
But
keeps your
I
life
really
interesting.
hope it changes. It's such a beautiful place, beautiful
course.
nature, beautiful people. People are super welcoming, humble. But unfortunately, it is what it is.
It was a competitor to Cannes Film Festival at one point. The top of the stars
Yeah.
used to go to
yeah,
Lebanon.
yeah.
It was a beautiful,
Everything.
amazing place.
Even
And then-
medical tourism, it was off the roof. They destroyed it. There's no electricity. Now Dubai picked up the medical medicine. So
and Turkey as well, hair transplants,
Yeah,
all that kind of
And
stuff.
Turkey took a big chunk as well. We used to have a beautiful educational system. There's no one to educate anymore.
That's
So
sad,
that's what
it's
I'm
sad,
telling you.
yeah.
Like, it's kind of like they took out all of the resources and no one is even trying to start a base of changing it.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, you did this, no, you did this, no, you did this. Okay, fine. Everyone did everything.
Yeah.
Can we just meet up and to build a system where we can work to fix
It's
it?
much easier said than done, and sadly.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Lebanon will end up as a French colony again at one point?
I think as an option, an international country should come and buy it. I don't know, take over, because
It was
the
part of
same.
Buy it.
It was a part of a French colony at
It
one
was,
point in history.
yeah, and they got the independence in 1943, and from there onwards, this is where like there was this kind of dividing the population, where some people were really looking up to how to evolve as humans and follow that system, and other peoples were really just focusing on how to fight with everyone around them. And this is what created it, including we have 18 religions.
In Lebanon?
In Lebanon, like everyone, and they all hate each other for no reason. Like, but you're breathing the same, you're eating the same, and you're sleeping this. I don't know why you hate each other.
But this tribalism and divide and conquer is everywhere.
Everywhere, wait. Everywhere they do it in a way just to make people busy in some stuff.
Yeah.
But you still have your human rights.
Yeah.
You have food, you have
Yeah.
clean water, you have internet,
You have
and you have
necessities, yeah.
electricity. Over there, you don't have anything from human right, and you're still waking up every day. You just want to fight your neighbor. The man, hold his hand and try to make different life for the two of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw this title that she got 18 million to clean up dead bodies. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's an amazing title. That's beautiful
Yeah,
clickbait.
so like no way you cannot pass it. It's from Anthony Pompliano or something. He used to be a crypto podcast. Then they were like, okay, crypto is dead. Let me go into topics. So I was listening to her, and she used to be a police officer getting paid $40,000 a year. And she was like, fuck it. She worked in prostitution department and in narcotics department. So she started a business that whenever you have a dead body in the house, whether it's a homicide or decomposed old woman that no one, so she will come clean up the house, even if the blood is going through the vents or all of this shit. And the woman makes turnover $18 million, but her profit margin is 85%.
Of course.
That's insane.
Why? Because no one wants to do
No one
this
wants to
shit
do it.
job.
No,
It's
well-
disgusting.
Well, no one actually thought
Yeah.
it's a business.
Yeah.
Which must be in America.
Yeah, it is in America.
Because you only get that many dead bodies in America.
So when you said an arms dealer, it's just like I reminded her, that's why I smiled. Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's also very hard to maintain staff. You must have like a crazy turnover.
That's what she said. She said like the maximum length of a staff is 2 years, and then they have to say we cannot do it anymore.
Well, I mean, there's people working.
It stinks. Like we have to.
They become a victim. That
Yeah.
someone else has to clean.
Well, it's like the Undertaker in the cemetery, but they last.
They last decades, dude. They enjoy their work. They love it
I don't get it, but okay.
because they sell that stuff in the black. Well, not all of them, but some of them like sell stuff. Yeah,
It's good money, huh?
yeah,
Good
like
business.
bones and like
Oh my
organs and stuff like that. Yeah, dude.
Coming back to real estate.
Coming back to real estate. Hey, let's let's go really a little bit. Let's go off topic for a second. Just did you see the thing on the drag show for babies?
Oh yeah. You're clickbait. I like that. Yeah.
But did you see today? It was going viral.
Yeah, it was going viral for the last couple of days on Twitter, and I think now it just hit the mainstream kind of thing.
What do you think about that?
I'm going to sign up my son/daughter there immediately.
Teach them what they are.
Where are we going with all of this? Like, is this like the reason I bring this up? Because every day I think we can't go any worse. Like, we've seen everything. Every day
they were like, hold up, take this.
As soon as I think we've seen it all, something new comes up.
But who comes up with that and says that's a good idea?
Do you know what I mean? Like who would want to take their kids?
You can't take your kid.
But you have to say it for people who's listening to it. They don't know.
So whoever doesn't know what we're talking about, and you can Google this, okay? Drag show for babies. And basically, there's like events been happening in the UK and in America where they do drag shows.
What's a drag show?
A drag show is obviously men dressed as women, right? And they're like, in a lot of cases, they're wearing just underwear or a G-string. So it's a strip show, drag show in one.
For kids under 5.
But targeted for kids under... No, it's actually... And the invite says for like the age range for kids under 5.
Otherwise, you have to pay.
So for some reason, people think this is such a cool idea. Obviously, people don't think that, right? So this show's been going on for a while, but the world didn't know about it. So I guess no one filmed about it. No one put it on social media. And as soon as like in the last few days, it's come out on social media, it's gone viral. They've closed down their Instagram account. They've closed down their website. They're like getting too much hate, getting bombarded by people all the time, pretending to be victims. They're acting like victims now. The world doesn't understand. People getting such joy coming to these events. You know what I mean? Why did people get it?
Sure, the parents might.
What? The parents
leave your kids home and go do your pervert shit. Whatever
you can't take your kid to a strip club. They'll stop you at the door.
But exactly. I mean, forget a kid. A 17-year-old can't go into a strip club. An 18-year-old in America can't go in a strip club. You have to be 21, right? But somehow it's cool to show kids from 5, babies till the age of 5. It's
only if men are cross-dressing. That's when it becomes okay. But it's not when it's women. That's a lie. They're like, hey, you know what? That's too much. We don't want that.
So I'm saying, I thought weird stuff like this, we've seen it all. And then I woke up, we've reached another level.
I don't think we're anywhere close to the bottom. I think there's a lot of room left. And I think we're just, hell isn't any more a place that you go to when you die. I think
it's a 5-star hotel.
Yeah. I think that door has been open for a while, and I think there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's gonna come up in the next couple of years.